Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Melissa Andre. I'm the Executive Director of the Tax Review Board, and I am convening a session. We are convening a session of the Tax Review Board. Today is Tuesday, April 18th of 2023, and the tax category today is owner occupied. Please be aware that this is a public hearing and it is being recorded because the meeting is public and participants and viewers have no expectation of privacy. And by continuing to be in this meeting, you are consenting to being recorded. This recording will be posted onto the Tax Review Board website. With me today is our board chair, Nancy K. Medina. She's literally right next to me. And we have board members, Paula Weiss and Dominique Ward, and we have a quorum. Nancy, please take it away.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna go.
Good afternoon, everyone. The Tax Review Board hearing for April 18th, 2023 will come to order. We have several items on the agenda, but at this point, we only have two who are ready to be called upon. The first of those is item number 4 for Blessing Real Estate Management. Last four digits of the docket 7691. The property address that's listed here is 7202 Leonard Street. And I believe that someone is going to be coming into the room here in just a moment.
Not yet. I'm coming out in a second. All right. Yeah, he can sit here. You can sit here as the attorney, of course, and she can sit back there as the interpreter.
Okay.
I've asked everybody to keep their voice nice and loud. As you know, sound is an issue, so everyone can keep their voice nice and loud. Nancy, you can start.
Okay, are the people who came in here for Blessing Real Estate?
Yes.
Okay, I had just announced, and it's in the record in terms of this being the item that we're taking now. If you could identify yourselves for the record, please.
My name is Joel Bigatel, Pennsylvania attorney ID number 32740 for Mark Guerrero.
Okay, and who is here for the petitioner?
That's Mark Guerrero. He's the petitioner.
He needs to identify himself by name, please.
Est-ce qu'on est capable d'identifier tête ou pas?
Moi, c'est Marc Guerrier.
I am Mark Guerrier.
You have to identify her, obviously.
Okay, yes. And we have an interpreter here.
Yes.
Can you identify yourself by name, please?
Los Guerrier.
And the petitioner, did he state his name? I could not hear what he said.
Moi, c'est Marc Guerrier.
I am Mark Guerrier.
For both of you, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth with everything that comes before the board?
Est-ce que vous sermentez que vous dites vérité en Dieu devant tout le monde? Yes, I swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth in front of the board.
And did you also indicate that for you, the interpreter?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. It's a little hard for me to hear all of it because of the distance you are from the mic. And so I will say to everyone, when we actually get started, that you need to come as close to the mic, which is at the computer, as you can if you're actually giving testimony. Who has this matter for the city? You're on mute.
Lauren Zarello for the city of Philadelphia. Is she a court reporter or a family member?
She's a family member.
Okay.
Do you have someone else who will be testifying for the city?
No.
Anyone who's going to be reading numbers into the record or anything like that?
I'll be reading the numbers into the record.
Okay, so you don't have anyone else who will be who needs to be identified and sworn?
No, thank you.
Okay, do you have any opening comments or should we be turning to the petitioner?
You can turn to the petitioner.
Well, we need the numbers first.
Oh, right. Sorry, I'm sorry. Okay, so the matter in question is an OOPA denial for the property located at 7202 Leonard Street. The real estate taxes are delinquent in the amount of $35,769.80. They go from tax year 2006 to tax year 2023. Principal in the amount of $18,822.21. Penalties in the amount of $1,751.20. interest in the amount of $12,281.65. Other legal lien fees in the amount of $2,914.67 for the total amount due of $35,769.80. This was previously denied because petitioner has failed to prove that this is his primary residence, and this property is also not eligible for OOPA because it's owned by a LLC, which is why it was denied in the past.
Give me time to translate what you just, to interpret what you just said to Mr. Mark.
Of course, yes, please.
Ok, j'avais, je te consacre dernière fois que vous avez
Ok.
vu des nights parce que vous devez 5 769 $. Chaque une c'est 1751 $, une c'est 12 281 65 $ et 2914 $. Il y a fees qui c'est 2914 $57 qui vient additionner à 35 769 $, qui va payer sous Kyle. Et il était dénié parce que Kyle n'a pas montré que il était sous le dernier fois. Yes.
Okay. The city has indicated that they're going to wait in terms of any testimony, so we need to turn to the petitioner. So please tell us why you're here and what it is you're looking for from this board.
Yes, we are looking for an owner occupied payment agreement for the taxes and some waiver of interest and or penalty. Mr. Mark Guerriere is the co-owner of the property. The property was previously owned by Blessing Real Estate Management Company. In 2019, a deed was executed by Blessing's president and operator, deeding the property to Mr. Guerriere and also his son, whose name is Mark Durr Guerriere. And that was on February, I believe, the 1st of 2019. Mr. Guerriere has resided in the property for approximately 4 or 5 years, or actually since 2016. One of the previous denials was based on the fact that he had an open homestead application, which was withdrawn subsequent to notification of that. He moved from the previous property on Hurley Street, in which he had that exemption, and that was withdrawn and those papers were submitted. He is 79 years old. His sources of income are Social Security for himself and his wife, who are the sole occupants of the property. Mr. Guerriere's net Social Security is $977 a month. We have his SSA benefit statement. Ms.
I'm gonna ask you to just stop for a second and let the interpreter interpret, please.
Oh, sure, I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot.
It's okay, we have to remember that, you know, shorter statement.
Yep.
Ok, d'ailleurs ça, avocat va expliquer parce que il va parler pour, il dit comme ça que ça fait que Kyle, il était donné question avant première fois, c'est parce qu'il n'est pas sous nom, il était sous nom Blessing. Ok, et les ça papier été fait en février 2019. Il était mis sous nom mais qui pas réussi. Ok, et pour nous là, il a parlé de income comme fait par mois qui c'est 907 $ par mois, et en tout même avec mon bientôt qui est income revenu 1886 $ par mois, et c'est ça qu'il a parlé pour le moment. Il a présenté avec vous. Okay.
The ironic part of that is that when I spoke to the interpreter earlier today, I told her that it was much easier to translate if we speak in short sentences and then let her translate.
You forgot your own words of wisdom.
I forgot my own words of if they're wisdom, but
pour interpréter pour eux. So, il est différent. On est là, sur les parler en pile avant de laisser le nom. Okay.
As I was saying, Mr. Guerriere resides at the property with his wife, Leslie, spelled Laisslie, Santelius Guerriere.
Comme on te dit que Leslie était dans 70-22 Leonard Street, LAISSELIE Guerrier GUELLIEL. Ils étaient dans l'adresse qui est dans Leonard Street là, ensemble.
Her sole source of income is her Social Security benefit, which is after reduction for Part B premiums, $909 net per month.
Et puis sous 5 comme seulement tous ces social sécurité après qu'elle retire bénéfice par 2 qui c'est pour médical, il était $977.
We have additional statements evidencing their residence at the property, including a PICO bill.
Nous gagnons l'autre bagaille, l'autre bill qui sorti dans Kailan, qui c'est un bill lumière.
And a bill, current bill from April 20th through April 11th, 2023 from their auto insurance.
Et nous gagnons un bill qui c'est bill assurance machine qui c'est $381.
Oh. Yes. And we also have an updated owner occupied payment agreement application with the household expenses. They are slightly different from the application that was originally submitted.
Et nous gagnons l'autre application que nous gagnons une forme qui les côté pour mettre bagaille dépenses par mois qui ont déjà dépassé différent que ça que nous gagnons avant.
With the income being slightly increased to a total, based on those numbers that I stated before, a total monthly income net of $1,886 per month.
Et qui vient plus contingent plus que ça déjà qui était $1,886 par mois.
And their total expenses being $2,146.71 per month.
Et qu'on est là, il vient de $1,146.70 par mois.
We also have a PGW gas bill
Et nous gagnons encore un gaz bill qui c'est
dated April 4th, 2023.
qui pour avril 4, 2023.
The deed which I referenced,
Et papier que
Mr. Biggett, tell if I can interrupt.
yes,
You have a copy of that new deed?
yes,
Okay, I think we're gonna need to see that.
Sure.
You can give me everything and I can just make one big old copy.
Is there any way I could also see all the documents that he's stating? Because I don't believe the deed was recorded because it's not in the record system.
that, and
As a
that's
preliminary
where,
question, have you guys spoken prior to this hearing today? Council in the city?
No.
okay,
Is there a
And-
copy of the deed? Is the deed that
Yeah, the
was asking
deed.
about?
I'm getting that for you.
Ms. Rillo, if
I have
the
them. I have a-
threshold question was ownership, and we have a deed and evidence that ownership has transferred, does that remove the city's objection?
No, because the deed was not recorded. The mailing address is still going to a 4106 Whitaker Avenue, which is owned by the petitioner. The water bill that I have a copy of shows sporadic water usage and also has the address going to the 4160 Whitaker Avenue. And there is the address that had a homestead was also in an OOPA for petitioner. And then the OOPA, the tax balance is much lower than the balance on this account. So that OOPA was defaulted, and then petitioner is trying to get into an OOPA on this property, which we do not believe is the primary residence. And I mean, it would make it.
Can you let the interpreter get in there?
Dame nan mande li, eske à cause de dit lan ki, à cause de papier kailan ki vin, avocat pote eske sa vin retire que vin accepter papier, dame nan di non, ça pas vin fait que yo approuver ça, parce que il doit toujours aller dans 41 comme 8 acres, et puis non seulement ça, tout est toujours sous nom côté depuis avant que vous avez fait là, sauf pas gagner qui changer, et peut-être il ne va pas approuver ça.
Additionally, it's troubling to me unless they, I mean, maybe if they're going to record this deed, but the principal owner of the LLC, I believe, is petitioner, or it's his son. So just the fact that they have this deed to show this board to get into an agreement on all of these taxes it doesn't mean much when it's not recorded. The ownership has not transferred.
Okay, c'est comme ça que si dit n'a pas recordé, il va aller dans record, il va même que il fait dans ce papier, mais soit aller dans l'autre papier, l'autre forme, il a cherché ou pas besoin dans archive. Vous comprenez ça maintenant? Parce que il va recorder. Il va accepter que pour bon papier seulement, mais pas dans archive légal.
And in reviewing the matter regarding the deed, we looked into that because in February of 2019, when the deed was signed, Mark Guerriere, the son, was out of the state, and you might note on the notarization that it was notarized in Union, New Jersey. And we got that back in my office, and I spoke with Mr. Guerriere this morning to find out whether that had ever been recorded. What we did find was an indication that the deed was signed by Mr. Guerriere, sent back to my office, and we were uncertain as to whether we sent it to him for recording or whether we have it in our office to record, and we could not locate it today. But if that becomes a condition of the grant of the OOPA, we will certainly be happy to record the deed, and or if we cannot locate the original, execute a new deed identical to this one in order to put the title in Mr. Guerriere and his son's names to qualify for, if that becomes necessary. But legally speaking, we believe that title has in fact, record title hasn't transferred, but title has in fact transferred by the signing and the delivery of the deed as a legal matter.
So at this point, the petitioner is not the record owner of the property. The record owner of the property is Blessings Heart LLC. The mailing address is to this 4160 Whitaker Avenue, which is owned by petitioner. That's also where the water bill is going, which is also sporadic. And then on the account of, sorry, sorry, I'm looking for the account number. And this is frozen.
Yep.
I'm sorry, apologies. Let me.
While you do that, Ms. Rillo, Mr. Bigetel, is Blessings, what is it called? Blessings Real Estate Management Company still in operation? Is that an
Yes.
active? And how many properties does that company own?
And how many does it own? I'm not sure it owns any others other than this one. I know that the Mr. Guerriere, the son, owns other properties. But I'm not certain that Blessing Real Estate Management actually owns any other properties.
The interpreter should interpret.
I'm
That
sorry.
you're going to come Kai Blessing Management Property combien Kai yo gagné et puis avocat répond dit que pas connaît combien yo gagné mais il peut-être penser c'est un seul Kai là mais il connaît que malgré qu'il va gagner l'autre mais c'est pas Blessing Management.
Ms. Earl, are you ready?
Yes, I would also just ask the petitioner where, if he has a copy of his driver's license and where he's registered and where he's registered to vote.
C'est-à-dire yo mande sou gen copie du driver's license sou ka retire li licence ou la même. Yo besoin connaître côté le registre c'est soit adresse autorité là.
Because that could be helpful.
Yep. I'm looking at, I could hold it up to the camera, showing his.
Excuse me, someone's in.
It does reflect the message.
Voice and Shiraj.
Right, and while we do that, could you explain why the water bill goes to a different address?
Water, there was an issue with the water bill that we were trying to work out with the water department. I believe there was a hearing sometime in 2000, might have been 19 or 20, which was continued or rescheduled a couple of times. And it was never resolved. There is a water meter in there. It's all hooked up legitimate. But apparently there's not water bills coming to the property or to 4160 Whitaker. Currently.
Where is it going?
Okay. Et dit comme ça que la PC, son bagage est PC arrangé, il va pas de problème. Mais pour le moment, l'eau a fonctionné dans le cas là, et tout va marcher bien au milieu, contrôler l'eau. Mais simplement que pas recevoir aucun bill pour l'eau.
And I would also note that there were a couple of tax payments which Mr. Barrera was able to make in 2023 and 2022. He was not able to locate the receipts, but according to the city's records, in 2023, well, you have a copy of the license, which it was issued December 4th, 2021. And there's Mr. Guerrero's picture and the address of 7202 Leonard Street, Philadelphia.
I sent a copy of that to everybody, Ms. Rillo.
Okay, 1 second. Let us get that first and foremost. All right, so.
Tout bagay yo reflekte bill tax que vous payez en 2022, 2023, mais simplement, vous pas reçu. Mais vous payez depuis en 2021, 2022, depuis monter jusqu'à 2023.
So it sounds like to me, his driver's license reflects the address at issue, which is 7202 Leonard Street. And then the materials that were sent over to us via email, such as the PGW bill, also reflects 7202 Leonard Street. And city, your concern is that the deed that we have or was just shared is not recorded?
Yeah, he's not the record owner of the property, and he was told back, I mean, this has been the issue for the past 2 hearings, and he was told to become the record owner of the property, and that still hasn't happened yet.
When you
So-
say he was told, how,
Wait,
you're saying at these hearings?
It says, the note says TRB denied OOPA at master. He can refile if he puts the property into his own name. And then TRB rehearing granted, no date scheduled yet.
Where are you reading this exactly?
Hold on one second.
Melissa, do we have that?
If you
Yeah,
have
do
the
you have a
order,
copy of this?
yeah.
There's a decision letter from August 24th of 2020 from a hearing that happened on July 29th of 2020, wherein the petition was denied, owner occupied petition was denied, property, and it specifically says property must be in Mr. Guerrero's name.
Okay. Was
And
his
it-
counsel present at that hearing or was he there by himself?
Council was present.
So counselor, if you knew that your client had to get this transferred over into his name, what progress, if any, has been made to do so? And if there's been no progress, why not?
Because I have, according to my timeline of this matter, we're talking about the July 29th hearing of 2020. That hearing was continued. And I don't recall appearing before the tax review board on this specific issue and having been told that he needed to reapply. What I do recall is that being an issue at one point, and we did send the deed into the unrecorded deed into the Department of Revenue to advise them of the transfer of the property. But as I said, we are still trying to track down. Apparently, we can't find a copy. I asked my assistant to look through the files yesterday to see if we had a copy of a deed with recording stamps on it. I don't personally recall having gotten it back. Or I do recall it coming into our office by overnight mail, signed by Mr. Guerriere, but the whereabouts of the original after that, I can't speak to. Mr. Guerriere said he wasn't certain, that he didn't recall receiving it back to record, and it was several years ago. So we're still looking for the original. But as I said, if that's a condition of the application, we would certainly be willing to file it within 60
We
days.
need a pause for translation, please.
Yes, please. She hasn't done it in a while.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ok, moun yo mande dam ki anvel la di kon sa ke li kapab gade pou tout bagay ke yo reflekte, driver's license reflekte, bill gaz la reflekte, ke adres yo se nan Leonard Street la. Et puis konye la men ki sa fe moun yo pa d'akor pou yo apouve sa. Et puis la repon mi di kon sa ke sa fe yo pa apouve se paske se pa bagay sa ou ki intéresse, se dit la yo te vle kote mette nan non depuis les cas a commencé. On va jamais dire dans non et puis il m'a dit avocat est-ce qu'elle pas connaît est-ce qu'elle était là léoté demandé ou ça qui j'ai fait ça par lui et puis même il répond dit comme ça que il connaît que papier que venu overnight dans nuit il devait venir au office li mais il pas connaît que qui ça le faire. Okay?
If I could just make a suggestion, could we continue this for 30 or 60 days for them to record the deed? Because I mean, it does say you need to be the record owner, and right now the record owner is an LLC. So if petitioner would record this deed and become the record owner, I don't think that the city would object to an OOPA. But if the board were to grant this now, there's no repercussions if the deed is never recorded in the future.
Can everybody hold tight so the interpreter can interpret?
Que pour être capable de retourner sur ça encore parce que ouais si côté carré te mettre sous nom parce que si yo ba ou il connaît là yo mettre sous nom après que board la fin dit comme ça que faut organiser là sous nom ça veut dire que pas prendre précaution qui prend pas bon comprendre dans sens que yo violer loi encore parce que tu dit faut dire là sous nom peut-être pour mettre
Does the board want to step aside to consider anything, or are you comfortable with dealing with any next steps?
Well, I guess I have a question before whether we need to. Ms. Rillo, if from Mr. Bigdell. If you record the deed and actually come into compliance with the requirements of the program, is there a need to come back here, or can they just file another application that he says he has for consideration by the Department of Revenue?
Correct.
And coming back here to show us the deed doesn't seem necessary to me.
Hypothetically, that would be the way that it would go. Yes, because I mean, the notes say if he becomes compliant by becoming the record owner and all of the other paperwork is in order, then he would be eligible for OOPA.
I leave it to my fellow board members.
Okay, do you guys want to go in the back to discuss really quick?
Okay.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything else to say before the board goes back to discuss this matter?
Just something that I was mentioning earlier about a few tax payments that were made in 2022 and 2023 on this property by Mr. Guerriere. 400 in 2023 and $675 in 2022, according to the city's records.
And those were made by him as an individual.
Yes.
Okay,
We're going to step aside just for a moment to make sure we compared notes.
While the board is gone, can I get the spelling of the petitioner's name, please?
Sure. Guerrier.
Thank you.
Mark, M-A-R-C.
MARC. And the interpreter, can I please have your name?
Lause, Lause. Last name Guerrier.
Thank you.
Le chita a pensé de décision que le prend. C'est ça que le fait poser. Dire capable de décision selon il y a pas de temps, ce soit capable d'aller pour des selon. Donc les selon, il y a c'est pas besoin de retourner là encore pour avocat seulement pour les bails. C'est parce que pas capable de décision sur même ça a été dit.
Well, the board is in discussion. If I could just speak to the attorney for the city, Lauren.
Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted.
I do that all the time. So I am here on a case, one matter that has been actually recalled by the city. So I was just here to provide some background as needed, and I would defer to you on everything else. Unfortunately, I have to leave at 3 p.m. I wasn't told that this was a full board meeting, and I we got some cross communications in our office. So if I have to leave, would it be okay if I could email you the background information that I have to the extent that
Sure.
it's useful?
Yeah.
And
My
then very
email
well.
is LAUREN
LAUREN just like-
dot Zerillo, Z like zebra, RILLO at phila.gov.
All right. I will send that now just in case.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
What number was it?
Oh, sorry. This is Raymond Lane, 1924 to 28 Haynes Street.
Okay.
And he may well not appear at all.
Right. Okay.
Thank you. I'll send you what I have. Just in
Okay. Thank you.
Looks really good. Thank you. All right, let's see if everyone is back. This is always a good time. Move to main session. Okay, we're just waiting for the other board members to return.
We lost them en route.
Yeah, always. Okay,
All
Nancy.
right. Okay. The board's discussed this matter and we'd like to see this taken under advisement for 30 days for the deed to be placed in the petitioner's name and proof of that filing in his name be provided both to the city and to the tax review board. If it doesn't arrive within that specified time period, we would to deny the petition. Do my colleagues have anything to add or clarify on that?
Paula Weiss, I concur.
Dominic Ford, I concur.
Any questions or issues on that approach from the board from either the city or the petitioner?
Could we request a slightly longer time, because I'm not sure that the transfer tax is going to be an issue of 45
No,
days?
Quite honestly, this has been going on far too long.
I was just going to
We
request.
we
45 days.
considered going to a slightly longer time period, and it was our decision that we wanted to push to have the work done instead of being put aside as it has been in the past.
Very good.
The city has no questions or concerns.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I'm gonna put case number 4, appeal.
Okay, I think that would cover.
Board needs to concur.
They did concur,
sorry.
they did concur. Maybe you stepped aside, but the other board, I have to say, I'm probably the one who didn't add my concurrence to that. So I will do that now. But I think we have everything covered that we need to. There'll be a letter that'll go out that confirms what we've done today. And we encourage the petitioner to have that deed recorded in his name as soon as possible so that it can all be verified within that 30-day period.
A copy of the recorded deed, or at least the timestamp copy from the Department of Property or Records, can be emailed to me. I'm going to send, I'm going to walk Mr. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Bigatel, my card, as well as on the back is the city's attorney. If you can email us both that, so that way we both have it, that would be fantastic.
Very good.
Okay, all right. And then I'm gonna put in case number 1.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much. We'll pause for a moment for the current occupants of the room to head out and get the next group.
If you can email it to me, and then on the back is Ms. Zorella's
That's a
information.
Z?
Yeah, that's a
ZRI.
ZRILLO.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Thank you.
and if you guys can come out this way, it would make it a lot easier.
While they're departing, I'll just go on record for the others. The next item on our agenda is for case number 1, and that is for Drexel Burrell, or Burrell Drexel, I'm not sure which order it should be in. Last 4 digits of the docket, 9964. The property address is 1502 West Colorado Street.
He's on the way today.
Don't forget to keep your voice nice and loud for me. Your voice nice and loud for me.
Okay.
Welcome. Please identify yourself for the record.
Drexel Burrell.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth with everything that comes before the board?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'll just ask that as we go forward with things, if you could sit a little closer to where the computer is, that's where the microphone is. So
Yes.
we're sure that as we're conversing that you can be heard. Who has this matter for the city?
Lauren Zorilla for the city of Philadelphia.
And do you have anyone else who needs to be identified or sworn?
No, and I can read the figures in for you.
Okay, if you would then give us the numbers for the record.
Yes, this is the property 1502 South Colorado Street, and I just wanted to clarify for the board, on the docket, the account number is wrong and the property address says West Colorado instead of South Colorado.
Ooh, okay, so and what should the docket number be?
It should be 365-224-700.
Oh, you need the account number.
That's
Yeah, the account number.
Can you say it again?
It's 365-224-700.
Oh, yes.
And then the property is 1502 South Colorado Street.
Got it.
Okay.
I will make those corrections. I apologize.
Nope, that's okay. Just want to make sure. Okay. And so the property, like I said, is 1502 South Colorado Street. The outstanding balance in a total is $19,666.19. The delinquent tax years are from 2007 through 2023. Principal in the amount of $12,209.05. Penalties in the amount of $729.64. Interest in the amount of $4,492.05. Other legal lien fees in the amount of $2,235.45. And
Do you have anything else before we turn to the petitioner?
I would just say that this was originally denied because it was stated that petitioner had an OOPA agreement on a different property address, but that was 2234 Dickinson Street. But I did get clarification today that it's actually a standard agreement that is on that property. So that being the only reason that this was denied before, if Ms. Burrell states that this is her primary residence, then the city would have no objection.
Okay.
I just want to confirm that this is still the case, that it's her primary residence.
Would you confirm that or provide additional information for us? I'm turning to the petitioner when I'm asking that.
Ms. Burrell, is this property 1502 South Colorado Street? Your
South
property?
Colorado Street. Yes.
I see someone has joined you. Will you be speaking at any point? And if so, please identify yourself for the record.
Sure. My name is Joy Burrell. I'm Drexel Burrell's daughter.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth with everything that comes before the board?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Coming back to the city for just a moment, did you have anything else you wanted to provide before we turn to the petitioner?
No.
Okay, thank you. Then let's turn to the petitioner. Please tell us why you're here and what you're looking for from this board.
I'm trying to get on the Occupy agreement of payment with 1502 South Colorado Street. I did receive a letter. I did get a letter from the tax place at 15th and JFK. I have the letter here stating that Drexel Burrell is currently on the TAP program for property location at 1502 South Colorado Street. And I have gotten this from a supervisor from the water department tax place. So I have my information stating that here.
So, Mr. Burrell, where do you live?
I live 1502 South Colorado Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania,
Thank you. And how long have you lived there?
for years.
For years. What is the other property at 2234 Dickinson Street?
That's my property also.
Is that a rental?
No,
No.
Does somebody live in it?
no.
Okay.
But I'm sorry, not to cut you off. At a point in time, she was staying there, but she's no longer staying there. She's at 1502, which is her primary residence. What had happened was they said that she was on she came here to get on the owner occupied. However, it was denied because of they had 2234 as an owner occupied, but she's on an installment payment plan, but she wants to get on the owner occupied and see if, there's any possible way of like any of the penalties or anything like that can come off of 1502. So she just want to get on the owner occupied there, but we are on a installment plan for 2234, but she's not a residence there. She's a residence at 1502.
And that's what the city's records show.
Okay, so then we
Yes.
don't have any disagreement.
No.
And we don't need any additional information, it sounds like, so. Board members?
I don't think you guys need to go back.
No,
I
we
don't think so either, unless there's some contention from something that the city might be adding for our consideration.
I just wanted to add that when the petitioner gets the grant letter, because there hasn't been an OOPA on this property before, she's gonna have to bring the letter with her and her income information so that they can set up the plan for her.
So she will have to wait until she received the letter in the mail?
Yes.
Okay, before you can
Hang on,
start.
Ms. Burrell. So I'm gonna concur in the decision to grant this petition and allow Ms. Burrell to enter into an OOPA agreement.
Thank you.
Everybody-
Dominic Ward concurs as well.
And Nancy Camerdiner, I concur.
So now, Ms. Burrell, you're gonna get a letter from the tax review board with that decision.
Yes,
Take about 2 weeks.
okay,
At that, you need to go into Ms. Burrell Municipal Services Building in the concourse with
Yes.
her to actually set up the agreement.
yes,
Okay, and then you'll have the OOPA. And that also takes care of interest and penalty considerations as well because of the way the OOPA program is set up.
okay.
Okay.
So is there any other information you need?
Yes, so is that at the 15th and JFK, is that at the tax revenue, or is that like on a different floor that she have to go to?
Tax revenue in the basement
Okay, yeah,
and the
In the
Concord.
concourse.
Okay,
okay,
Yeah, so you need to take your income information, if you have, income statements and the letter from the tax review board granting the OOPA agreement.
and that's
Okay.
all I need, that,
those two
Okay.
documents.
Probably a driver's license and other stuff like that too.
okay.
Okay,
Thank you guys so very,
Thank
very
you.
much.
Okay, thank you for coming in today and good luck in getting all of this taken care of.
thank you again. Y'all have a great day.
You
You
too.
as well.
All right.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, it is approximately 2:56. There is no one here left for the other cases on the agenda, and there is no one in the Zoom waiting room. So at this time, Nancy, can you read them in?
Sure. Item number 2, Thomas Gibbs, or it's actually Michelle Thomas Gibbs. Last 4 digits of the docket 7656. Property address is 1750 South Ruby Street. No one is here. Does anyone from the city have any information on this that would indicate a resolution or anything else that's happening in this matter?
No, the city would request that the board deny for failure to appear.
Has this been up for hearing before Does anyone know, or do we have any information in our file?
Yes, this was listed for hearing last on August of 2021. The petitioner had noted the property was here and we had continued this matter for 30 days.
Okay. Should we just deny it for failure to appear, or should we have any further notations in terms of not bringing it back?
I would deny it for failure to appear with nothing else.
Dominique
Dominic Ward concurs.
and Nancy Cameron, I concur. So we're marking this item number 2 as denied for failure to appear. Item number 3, Stephen Davis, last 4 digits of the docket, 8693. Property address is 6038 Reinhard Street. Does anyone have any information about this item or anything to contribute for a decision on this item?
The city would ask that this be denied for failure to appear.
This is the third listing before the, nope, I apologize, the second listing before the board. Petitioner did appear at the last listing.
Okay, so again, just a denial for failure to appear on this one without any further notation.
I would concur with that.
Dominique, do you agree?
Dominic Ward concurs.
And Nancy Cameron, I concur. The last item on our agenda, item number 5 for Charles Duncan, last 4 digits of the docket 7599. Property address is 1924 East Haynes Street. Does anyone have any information on this item in terms of whether or not it had been handled before, or anything else we should take into account?
The city just asked that this be denied for failure to appear.
This is the first listing before the board.
Actually, it's the first listing before the board. I do have some background information provided to me by GRB. This is Allison Guest for GRB. This appeal had been initially scheduled for a TRB hearing on February 12th, 2020, but was continued at the petitioner's request. The May hearing was then rescheduled to August 26th, 2020, due to the pandemic shutdown. And then that listing was again continued to January 6th of 2021, and petitioner again failed to appear. So I would join in the city's request to deny for failure to appear.
Can we confirm through our files, Ms. Andre, that this is the 4th listing?
Yes, but the other 3 were before the master. She's right. It's just all that stuff is before the master.
This is the first actual at the board.
Correct.
Okay, so we would deny.
Denied for failure to appear. And Dominique, do you agree?
But then how did it get referred up to us if the person's not showing up?
Well, the petitioner requested a rehearing. He missed his hearing due to being in the hospital for the last 2 months, and he'd like to, this is what he wrote, he would like to reschedule it. And that was his appeal of the did not appear. So he didn't come, but he said he was in the hospital.
All right, well, let me be polite. All right, concur.
Okay, and I will join you in concurrence. That being the last item on our agenda, unless any of you have anything I'm unaware of at this time, I'll give you a moment to see if there is. Seeing no one have anything else, this hearing is adjourned. Thank you all.
Bye, everybody.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.